Hi, welcome to this video. I'm Lindsey. So there's a particular kind of tiredness and sometimes sadness or frustration that comes from managing how you're seen. So let me describe it and see if you recognise yourself in it. So you might soften an opinion in a meeting so that you don't seem too much. Maybe you reread a message 4 times before sending it, checking that it doesn't come across the wrong way. You might laugh at something that you didn't find funny, or you might say it's fine when it isn't. Maybe you walk out of a perfectly good conversation or evening and immediately wonder what they really thought of you. So in the background, almost constantly, there's a monitoring of what people are thinking of you. And from the outside, you probably look confident and capable. People probably come to you maybe to confide in you. And they'd be surprised to know how much of you they're not actually seeing. So the real opinions that you hold, the ones you hold back for fear of offending, the no that you didn't say, or the version of you that gets edited or filtered before anyone even gets a look at it. So that gap between who you are inside and the carefully managed version that you show is exhausting. And it's the third and final drive of the voice in your head. So let's have a look at what's going on. So if this is the first video that you found, here's the whole picture in a few sentences. So Sue is the name that I give to this conditioned critical voice in your head, the one that sounds like you but isn't you. So she's made of thought, 100%, and for years you've believed that she is you, so you've listened to her. Why wouldn't you? And she is predictable. Everything that she does comes down to 3 drives that spell her name. So S is for safety, keeping you protected from anything that feels like danger. U is for uncertainty, her hatred of not knowing, which drives overthinking and second guessing. And E is for exposure, which is today's letter. And in many ways, it is the sneakiest of the 3. So we covered the first 2 in earlier videos, and today I'm going to finish the framework. So E is for exposure. So Sue does not want you exposed in any way, emotionally vulnerable, seen, judged, criticised, or disagreed with. So to her, being truly seen and getting it wrong in front of other people feels genuinely dangerous. So she does everything she can to manage you in advance of that. And this is where so much of what you might call your personality actually lives. Except it isn't actually your personality, it's Sue protecting you. People pleasing, saying yes when you mean no, that imposter feeling that you're going to be found out, playing it small in rooms where you're actually the most qualified person sitting in it, filtering, softening, editing yourself in your daily life, and the self-criticism that then runs alongside that, picking over everything about how you came across. So here's something that you can listen for. And that's the word should. I should have said something. I shouldn't have worn this. I should be further along by now. So should is one of Sue's favourite ways to grab your attention. And it's nearly always her measuring you against how she thinks you need to appear in order to be safe from judgment and criticism. But notice the sheer amount of work that takes. The scanning of faces, the reading of the energy in the room, the constant low-level calculation of how you're being received, or maybe repeatedly rehearsing a conversation before having it and imagining the various different versions of how it could go. It's probably the most exhausting thing that Sue does out of her 3 drives, and it runs almost all day, mostly out of sight. Now, none of this means that something is wrong with you. It just means that Sue has learned a long time ago that being seen and judged was a threat to manage. It made sense once, it likely started in your teenage years, but it just isn't the truth of who you are now. So here's what can change when you can see the voice of Sue accurately and clearly. So you stop believing that you have to manage how you're being seen in order to be okay, in order to be safe. You start to notice in the moment, oh, that's Sue, just scared of being exposed again. And the instant that you can see her doing it, you're no longer simply being her. And I'm not telling you to force yourself here to be brave or to white knuckle your way through speaking up or sharing a version of yourself that you're not comfortable with. That's just more managing. This isn't about gritting your teeth and being seen anyway. It's about seeing through the idea that being seen was ever really a danger, or the danger that Sue made it out to be. Because here's the thing, the people worth your energy don't need the edited version of you. The relationships that would survive the real you are the ones that are worth having. And the version of you that's underneath all that filtering, the one with the actual opinion, an honest yes or no, the unrehearsed laugh, was never a problem. It's just hidden behind Sue's management of you. And the biggest relief that we can give to Sue is that other people are thinking about us way less than we think they are. They are usually lost in their own Sue in their head, wondering what everyone's thinking of them. So other people notice you and your behaviour far less than Sue thinks they do. And given that we know that what Sue says about you and other people is not the truth with a capital T, does it make any sense to listen to someone else's conditioned critical voice about you? I don't think so, because if I don't trust my own Sue, why would I trust anyone else's? So when you stop taking Sue's fear of exposure personally, the gap starts to close. And not because you become braver, but because you've seen that there was never as much to protect against as Sue believed. So that's the full picture. The 3 drives, 1 voice. Safety, keeping you from danger. Uncertainty, trying to outrun the unknown. And exposure, managing how you're seen. And once you can see all 3 drives, almost every anxious, second-guessing, self-critical thought that you have stops being proof that there's something wrong with you and becomes simply Sue doing one of her 3 jobs. And here's the freeing part. You don't have to silence her. The goal was never to have a quiet mind or to shut her up. It's that Sue can be there, Sue can get noisy, but for you to stay steady anyway, because you can see that she was never you. Sue can and will keep talking, but we don't have to take her so seriously or listen to her in the same way that we might have been. We don't have to let her dictate our lives and our choices or what we want or what we believe is possible for us. So if you want to know which of these 3 drives is strongest for you, because we all tend to lean on one more than the others, then you can take my free 2-minute quiz, Meet Sue, and it will show you which letter Sue reaches for the most and where to begin. And the link is in the description and also in the pinned comment below. And once you've done the quiz, keep an eye out, because I do run a regular live masterclass where we take all of this much further and you get to see this more deeply and properly with me in real time. And that's where seeing Sue starts to become living free of her, which is amazing. So there's one more video coming next week, and it's the one in the whole series has actually been building towards. So far we've looked at what to turn away from, as in terms of turn away from Sue, but next week is actually about what's underneath Sue, which is your own clear knowing, that steadier intelligence that's actually been living you in all of your best moments all along. And it's the difference between knowing about Sue and actually living free of her. And that's the one that I really don't want you to miss. So I really hope to see you next week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.